Hello, it is another doodle video. The last one I cut off sort of in the midst of doodle. This one I should hopefully have a little bit more time to get a little bit going while I doodle along. We'll see if this is going to be any better. Yeah, we'll see if this is going to be any better. It might be of similar quality, in which case I'll make a point of actually reading one of these and not reading one of these, listening to one of these, watching one of these, and seeing just how awful it is. But I thought, what the fuck, I'll try it again and we'll go from there. Yeah. Again, just doing my inking, not the actual drawing. Well, I just did ink a penis, but so not ink. I penciled a penis into generally where I want it, and I should also pencil in the gut of the particularly horrible troll creature that I'm making. Oh, there's my pencil, and go from there. At the moment, on this online here, I am fascinated by Dcmbr's video. So I don't know if this is what you call a reaction video or just, well, I guess it's a reaction video. Fuck it. Everybody does those, and why not me as well, to his video on plagiarism on YouTube, which, surprise, with all, as he points out, the content mills and such, there's a lot of it going on. And he's found some pretty, some were kind of minor, but some were like quite major. Some were quite major, especially the one on James Somerville, a gay creator who's made a lot of videos and kind of presented himself as kind of an authority figure on topics. And it turns out it's all borrowed authority, or all borrowed knowledge, not borrowed, stolen knowledge, because he's basically been reading out verbatim videos that are that are basically him reading out other people's work and passing it off as his own, which, wow, it sucks. And as these things go, it's something that had been going on for a while, had been pointed out, but pointed out by people who didn't have the juice or the power to be kind of make themselves heard, and for this stuff to be taken seriously. But now it has, and Mr. Somerville has deleted all of his videos, which, I think the proof, the receipts, as they say, that Dcmbr has presented definitely damned the fellow. Having Somerville, whatever his name is, reading out stuff, and having the text of the wronged party, their text running below, and seeing how he's slightly changed things. And a lot of times really catching, it's like, well, the only reason you would have changed this is because you didn't want anyone to know where you actually had gotten it from, and you're actually, you're trying to pass it off as your own. And yeah, that is no good. But it does make you wonder how often this is happening. And it's one of those things of, you're the audience, you just sort of watch videos, and you just sort of take it as, I don't know if it's like you're taking it as good faith, but you're just like, well, it seems like this is in this guy's own words, and you take it as theirs, when it actually isn't, which sucks big time. But I've been watching Council of Geeks, Vera Wild, talking about this, and make some good points about it being confirmation bias. You hear stuff that you agree with, therefore you don't kind of go into it anymore as to, oh, I should check to see, A, if it's true, because he also seems to have promulgated a lot of lies, misinformation, inaccuracies in what he's passed off as his own, because he's not there to carefully craft something that is well researched. He's not researching, he's stealing other people's research, and he's patching it together in all sorts of kind of a Frankensteinian monster. And he's also just inserting stuff that I guess it sounds good. He knows it's going to play well. It's going to play well with his audience, whether that's making kind of making claims against something like Disney and saying, like, how terrible Disney is, which is, like, definitely plays quite well with an audience, which, that's the thing. It's like you have a certain bias, and you're just like, this is something that confirms my bias, and so you don't really go into, it's bullshit. Yeah. So there's that. I mean, I think about this with, there was a whole kerfuffle about Buffy St. Marie, and it turning out there being kind of pretty serious questions about what her actual ancestry is, whether she actually is Native. And I mean, there's a thing of whether she's accepted in the community and accepted by that community, but then there's just sort of like, yeah, but who are your parents? And it seems maybe like her parents aren't Native peoples, and that she's made a concerted effort to make sure that she doesn't. But it's one of these things that, like, you just always accept that Buffy St. Marie, amazing Native woman, singer with Native ancestry of some sort. You don't question it, because why would you question it? It's always been there. I mean, for my age, it's just always been. She's always been like this prominent voice, as a native person. Old G, before, it's like sort of her and Jesse on the Beachcombers, because I'm an ignorant white guy and had got no clue of anything else. Yeah, and it's one of those, you accept stuff, and I don't know, it's that level of, like, don't accept anything, don't believe anything's true, they're just all trying to snow us. So you get in this kind of weird conspiratorial mind frame on the one side, and then, I don't know. It is tough being not an idiot in the world today, I guess, is the only way I can put it. And you're going to be wrong. You're going to have to always just sort of readjust, and I guess be kind of open to, things are going to be wrong, and you're going to be wrong, and also just to be aware that you are going to have bad actors like this who are just going to take advantage of the fact that you gain some kind of authority. You stick yourself in front of a camera looking confident, speaking well, and people are going to believe what you say, even though there's actually not much reason other than you're speaking well and you appear confident. And one of the other commentators who was talking about that, Vera, again, citing my sources, saying, like, yeah, on the right you have someone like Ben Shapiro, fucking Jordan Peterson, who are assholes, but they come off as authoritative assholes, so that the people who want to believe what they are saying do believe it. And yeah, that's not great. That's not great when you just believe. You just believe them. It's like, oh God. And just that it's a good corrective in a way. I think that was the main thing that came out of Vera, was like, okay, just because you're maybe a left-leaning person doesn't mean you are immune to the same kind of bullshit, the same errors of thought on that happen on the right, that also happen on the left. Just like which I guess shouldn't be surprising, but yeah, yeah. And I do think about, like, I've made videos where I've said in the videos, it's like, oh, this is just Wikipedia research, where I'm like, okay, I'm talking about some figure or something like that, and it's like, oh, I need the actual facts behind this. I'm mostly just doing I'm doing reviews. I'm not a video essayist. I just, like, I talk about books that I've read. But a lot of times the information that I have is come from Wikipedia. I don't think I'm actually taking the Wikipedia script and reading it verbatim. Though there might be some introductions where I am kind of just like going, okay, this is what it says on Wikipedia about them. But I probably don't put that in. I probably just say, this is an American writer who's well known for da 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 da. And if I'm rushing around and just trying to, like, crank out a video, maybe I'm doing that. Maybe I'm on a much lower scale doing what someone like Somerville has done, and making passing stuff off as my own. I mean, it's the video concept. It's like, I don't have scripts. I'm mostly using doing the bullet point thing. I think Vera Wild, again, because this is who I've listened to just recently talk about this. It's like I'm not scripting my things out. I'm not trying to sound more intelligent than I am. Can you tell? But yeah, it's like, it's like, it does make you think about, it's like, okay, I need to be a bit better with my, I think anything like this, you go, oh, how good am I at my citations, and how good am I at just sort of saying, what I should be doing. Yeah, it's that you do have that uncomfortable feeling of, like, yeah, I'm not, like, taking books and then reading them out loud and passing it off as my own erudite thoughts. However, I'm also painfully aware that I don't have, like, a lot of original thoughts of my own. I have reactions to things, and stuff like that, and I try and articulate and think about that. But yeah, it's one of those areas where, yeah, it's you got to be careful. Got to definitely be careful about not falling into this sort of thing. Luckily, I'm not a content mill, because, I mean, I think the other distinguishing factor of a lot of these plagiarists is they don't really care about what they're producing. They just need more of it and more of it and more of it so they can make money. And I'm not monetized. I don't make a shit ton of, I don't make a shit ton of public videos. I make a shit ton of private videos. So a good hunk of which are me reading out of copyright works. But I'm not trying to pass off my, Jesus Christ, I'm not trying to pass off Mary Henrietta Kingsley's words as my own. That would fucking come back to bite me in the ass. That's more of my vocal exercise of trying to get better at writing, at being on video. I mean, and that's the other thing. The other thing with this is that my whole project is to, in some ways, is to become, maybe not James Somerville, but to become, God, I'm even saying if I'm getting his name right, that's the high quality videos you get here. If I am trying to actually develop the skill of being authoritative on camera, and is that a, it's like, yeah, Somerville's very authoritative on camera too, but he doesn't have anything to back it up. And what do I have to back it up? I mean, I guess the thing is, I'm trying to be better at presenting my own internal feelings and thoughts on camera, but hopefully it's my stuff that I'm trying to get better at doing, expressing myself, and not passing other people's thoughts, other people's opinions off as my own. So yeah, that is the state of things at the moment. I don't know if, yeah, it's, yeah. I don't know. I'm drifting here. I am getting a good bit of doodling done though. So yeah. There's what I've done. Oh. Luckily, I'm not passing this off as anybody else's work either. So I guess there's that there. The shittiness of this video, the shittiness of my doodle, all prove that genuine authenticity of my own work. I'm gonna stop here because Josh should be coming out pretty soon.